Welcome to the Dre Way. Hi, I'm your host, Drayton Nay. Appreciate you stopping by and checking out the Dre Way. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button. We got a great show for you today. And look, I got a nice warm fireplace right behind me. We got a great show. Stick around. Let's go. Welcome to the Dre Way. Man, we've got so much to talk about. But let's talk about first things first. The first thing we got to talk about is the Republican budget. Yes, that 50-page document that they submitted yesterday, and it was a complete disaster. Yes, this is what we've been waiting for. Republicans in charge. And what are their ideas? Oh, hey, here's a good idea for you. How about the fact that, home interest deduction? Yeah, they wanted everybody to buy a house, and now you get to deduct your interest. How wonderful is that? Yeah, Republicans want to get rid of that. Yeah, they don't want you to be able to do that anymore. And how about a scholarship? Did you get a scholarship? Well, yeah, little Johnny got a scholarship to play football at Notre Dame. Okay, well, that's a scholarship worth about $80,000 a year. You have to pay taxes on that. Yeah, and as far as the tax plan, you do realize that for 97% of Americans, your taxes are going up. Donald Trump is raising your taxes. So my question is this what you guys signed on for? Is this what you guys wanted? Is this what you thought was going to be so beneficial? Oh, we got to put Donald Trump in office. He's going to lower taxes. Yeah, that's not what he's doing. That's not what he's doing at all. He is raising your taxes. And he's doing it for one reason. He wants to give rich people a tax break. Yeah, he wants rich people to pay even less. And let me make something perfectly clear here. The United States of America is never going to progress. It's never going to move forward. It's always going to be held back as long as the rich do not pay taxes. As long as the rich only pay a single percentage like 8, 9, 10, 12, 15, no. Until we get taxes up at 40% for the rich, this country will never reach the promise that it was reaching in the 50s. And you want to know why it was doing so well in the 50s? Because we used to tax rich people. I know some of you aren't old enough to remember, but yeah, we used to tax the rich. And the rates were a lot higher than 40%. But see, Ronald Reagan came along and said, everything would be so much better for everybody if we just left rich people alone and let them keep their money, and money would just trickle down. Yeah, it was the trickle-down effect. It was called the bullshit effect, is what it was called, because it was complete nonsense. It didn't work, has never worked, and for decades now, workers have gotten less and less, and the rich have gotten more and more. So before we have any of these conversations about what we should do about this, about this, it all starts at one spot. We have to tax the rich more. Rich people that have an abundance of wealth have to start paying more in taxes. You have to start giving up more of that enormous amount of money that you have. And stop trying to figure out ways for people that are barely getting by, for people that are just barely surviving, because they have to pay home insurance, health insurance, life insurance, insurance. All these things we got to pay for. And we're barely surviving. And meanwhile, the rich go, yeah, we pay a lot. You have more than a lot. You have an enormous amount of money. And even if we take some from you, you wouldn't know it. How are you going to know it when you have that much money? And this country was doing so well in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s. even into the 80s. But then it all fell apart. It all fell apart because for the last 30 years, we've been told, oh, you can't tax the rich. Now, they do in other countries. They tax you. They don't care how much money you make. You know, you go to some other countries and, rich athletes will tell you, oh, yeah, I'm from that country, and yeah, they tax us. We get taxed. Yeah. But if you want me to feel sorry for billionaires, I don't. You know, first of all, nobody has to have $100 billion. Nobody has to have $200 billion. Not in a country where so many are suffering. It doesn't make any sense. And the only way you become a billionaire is by taking money from your workers. That's all. Yeah, you yourself didn't create all that money. You had workers helping you. But that's a whole story for a different day. Let me know what you think in the comments, because yeah, I've had enough of this. But I want to know what you guys think in the comments. Welcome to the Dre Way. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. You know, all across the country right now, ICE officials are rounding people up. But the problem is that already they're rounding up citizens. Yeah, citizens of this country. Yeah, they're just rounding them up too. And I have to think that this was better thought out than it seems. Because right now it just seems to be a very helter-skelter process. And along the way, terrorizing people in schools, in churches, at the workplace. Yeah, it's already really hard for me to believe that this is the United States now. This is who we are as a country. We now have ICE officials going into churches and schools and businesses and just rounding people up, you know, and not even really paying attention to whether the fact that they may be U.S. citizens, and now forcing people to prove. Can you prove yourself to be a U.S. citizen on the spot? Seriously, if you go out to work today and you go out, you go to pick up your dry cleaning, you go to Wendy's, all of a sudden somebody stops you and says, prove to me that you're an American citizen. And you're like, well, here's my driver's license. That doesn't prove you're an American citizen. A driver's license? That doesn't prove anything. Show me your birth certificate. My birth certificate? I don't walk around with my birth certificate. Yeah, okay, get in the truck. Oh, what do you mean get in the truck? I was born here. Yeah, okay, get in the truck. Yeah, that's what we're doing in America now. That's the United States now. And now you have workers. It doesn't matter where the workers are. You're not safe. If you think you can go to work and your employer isn't going to hide you, your employer ain't going to do anything for you. So for all those, can you imagine how many undocumented workers there are at farms, racetracks around the United States? Oh my gosh. Dairy farms? Yeah. These big operations, yeah, they have undocumented workers all over the place. I mean, if you want to find some, just go to any horse track in the United States. I've said it before, I'll say it again. There's all kinds of undocumented workers at the racetracks. You know, dairy farms, yeah, farms are loaded with them. You know, farms where, you know, fruit has to be picked, yeah, good luck. Yeah, restaurants, hotels, yeah, this is going to be a running nightmare. And the worst part about it is that actual Americans, actual citizens are getting caught up in this. And how they feel. I mean, can you imagine? Here you are just going to work and you're asked for your birth certificate or get in the truck and you're handcuffed, and here you are, an American citizen? Yeah, this is not America at its best. This is not America at its best at all. And actually, I just think that this is going to be a real black eye. You know, looking at it right now and into the future, yeah, this is going to be a real black eye for America. This is going to take some time to recover from. And when I say time, I'm talking years and years and years. Yeah, if you think America is just going to snap back, you know, because a lot of these workers that have now gotten round up or have had to just leave in fear, yeah, they're not coming back. Yeah, they're not coming back. And this is going to have a huge effect on the United States for years and years to come. I just hope we're prepared for it. Let me know what you think in the comments. I have a final thought. Stay right there. I've been wailing, and when I say wailing, I've been wailing against Florida real estate for almost 2 years, saying that it's a bad investment, saying look out, especially if you own a condo, you should get rid of it now. And everything I was trying to prepare people for is now starting to become true. If you have a condo in Florida and you're in a building 30, 40, 50 years old, your condo isn't worth anything. Your condo, I would say is worthless in my opinion. I'm gonna buy a condo in a building that's 40 or 50 years old and have a massive HOA fee that's due and try to get insurance and make the payment and no. I think most of the condo market in Florida, especially in buildings that are 40 years and older, I think those condos are absolutely worthless. I wouldn't give you $1 for any of those condos. And I wouldn't give you $1 because they're only going to get more expensive, more, from an insurance standpoint, from an HOA standpoint. Yeah, to be honest with you, those condos are worthless. If you're in a building over 40 years old, maybe even 30 years old, your condo's next to worthless because it's just not worth the money to keep up that small amount of space. It's just not worth it. So what can you expect in Florida real estate? I can expect it to get a lot worse. I've been wailing against Florida for a long time now, and there's a good reason why. Because you could see what was going to happen in 2025 and in 2024. It started in 2024. I knew it was going to happen, and now it's getting worse in 2025. And by next year, it's going to be a complete disaster, an absolute complete disaster, because real estate's not going anywhere. Real estate prices are falling, and a lot of people just can't get out. They just can't, especially people that have bought recently. Yeah, you're talking about, we could have a situation next year where people once again just walk away from their house. They just leave the keys on the kitchen counter and off they go. We could be in that type of situation next year in Florida. It's that bad. And like I said, the condos, a lot of the condos in those buildings over 40 years old, worthless, not worth a dime. And housing, you're talking about a complete shift now. You're talking about a fundamental shift in real estate because people aren't pouring into Florida anymore. People are pouring out of Florida. And the rental market, have you seen the rental market in Florida? There are places for rent everywhere. You would have to be crazy to buy a house in Florida. You can rent so much cheaper right now in Florida, it's not even funny. Rent prices are dropping like stones. You put an offer on a house. Yeah, if a house is for rent for $2,500, offer $2,000, and they'll probably take it. That's what's going on right now. You can save so much money by renting in Florida right now, it's not even funny. And who wants to take on the responsibility of buying anything in Florida? Especially a condo, don't do it. A house, don't do it. Prices are gonna continue to drop. And I will continue to talk about Florida and Texas too. I'm not gonna forget about you in Texas, because Texas is a nightmare too. And who's coming behind Texas? Who's coming behind Texas and Florida? Tennessee. Yeah. Don't worry. At the end of this year, we'll be talking plenty about home prices falling in Tennessee. Thanks for joining me on the Dre Way. We'll be talking a lot more about real estate in the upcoming episodes. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button. I appreciate you every time you stop by the Dre Way. And don't forget, I'm also over on TikTok. So if you don't see me here, I'll be over on TikTok. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow right here on the Dre Way. We'll see you later.